fishing Wacky Rig. This is basically all I brought. So I brought some Senkos, I brought my little Wacky Rig tool, and that's it. So if I don't catch anything on this, we ain't catching anything. Let's get somewhere where I can make a little cast here. Just let this drop. Might be a good place to throw a frog. Most of your strikes on these Wacky Rigs are going to come on the fall. So if you don't get anything, you can give it a little pop, let it fall back down. Do that after you do that a couple times. You usually want to reel it in. And I don't really like using the weed guard hooks. So more often than not, you're probably going to get a little bit of junk caught up in your hook. So just be mindful of that. You might be dragging a bunch of grass when you're trying to pop it. So and you want that fall to look natural. So always make sure that it's falling on a slack line. I know a lot of with the line's too slack, you really won't be able to feel a hit. So you're just gonna have to watch your line as it's falling into the water. I'm getting a little nibble, but I think it's just a little bluegill. There's quite a few of them down there. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. Probably not. Bunch of little bitty bluegill. Some horrible casts here. Kind of want to get it over on that grass line, but another little nibble. About 95 degrees right now, sunny, so most of these bass are going to be they're going to be hiding. They're going to be somewhere looking for some cover. Camera on for this one because this tiny guy, I didn't even feel bite, so let's go ahead and let him go. But talk about how this saves you your Senkos. It just, instead of pulling through your worm like it would normally, it just slips down this. Your line just slips down this little O-ring, and you just put it right back where you need it, just like that. Throw it back out there. Yeah, I was planning on, if I felt something, turning the camera on, but I didn't feel anything. I just went to give it a little pop, and that little guy was on there. Now I want to try to show you after the trains are gone what I'm talking about. It's watching your line run. And if I can get another, even if it's a small one, if I get something on there, I'll show you what I mean. The line's sitting there on the water. Just let it run a little bit. Here, I got some grass. There's a lot of grass down here. And that's gonna happen, so not a big deal. Cast out here. What's up, guys? So we're going to talk about my favorite way, one of my favorite ways to fish a Senko, and I find that this is probably one of the better ways to fish during like the hot summer days. Just a slow, suspended presentation, something that's going to entice that bass to strike, and it's called a Wacky Rig. So basically, what you do is you're going to rig a hook basically in the middle of a worm. You can either, there's tons of different ways to do this. You can do a Wacky Rig tool just like this one. It has little O-rings. The way I like to do it is I like to use these octopus style hooks. And these are a little bigger than what I traditionally run. I usually use a 2-aught, something like this. And then you can pick up one of these little Wacky Rig tools. You can get these Academy. I think I've seen them at Cabela's. They have them everywhere. You can get them online. They're cheap. And you can buy these little packs of O-rings. They're cheap too. It's a lot cheaper to buy them at Academy. You can get 25 of them for like $1.99 than it is to buy them from Home Depot. Home Depot, they're like $3 and you get half as many. So basically, a Wacky Rig is just taking your hook and just sticking it through the middle of a worm, and that's it. Fishing it like that. All right. You're gonna get a lot more subtle action. A lot of the times, most of the time, you're gonna get a strike on the fall. So this worm's gonna be falling, hit the bottom. If you don't get a strike, then you can wait a little while. You can work it or whatever. There's better ways to rig it than just kind of sticking it through. But if that's all you got, that'll work. The only thing about this is you're going to tear the worm up. The hook's going to pull through. It's going to destroy it. So you're not going to get as many fish per worm. So I'll show you the way I like to do it. Use one of these red hooks. So I'll use one of these red hooks just so hopefully it's a little more visible. So you get the stick bait of your choice, whatever one you're going to be throwing. And you're basically going to get an O-ring ready, slide it up. Sometimes it's a little tough, but basically just you slide it up, you put your stick bait in here, and you kind of want it to be in the middle, but depending on where you actually put the O-ring, the worm will have different actions, but generally you just want to throw it right in the middle. Slide it over, and it'll pop on, just like that. And then you take your hook, and you slide it through right there, just like that. And that's it. Okay. So generally, whenever you have a strike, the fish is going to take it. Whatever, you're going to find that the hook's usually going to get pulled through, and it's going to obviously be the line's going to be connected, and so your worm's going to be safe up here, just kind of chilling on your line, and your hook's going to be hopefully in the roof of a bass's mouth or a fish, whatever. This is generally the way that I've always done it. You can do a little different. You can use 2 O-rings. If I can get another one up here. and you basically put them side by side. And then you take one and you cross it over the other one so that it's making an X. If I can do that. Okay, so there we go, we got it. Just kind of position them so that the hook, or so that their X is right there, and then you're going to put your hook in sideways. See what that's going to allow you to do, if I can get it in there right. What that's going to allow you to do is your hook's going to be in there in a different profile, so it's going to be sideways. So that way it's going to help your hookup ratio a lot, as opposed to having the hook in here sideways, so that it just pulls through the fish's mouth. So this is a great way to do it. All right. So there's other ways to do it. All right. If you can do basically this same concept. What you can do is you can take some electrical tape. All right, just leaving a small piece of electrical tape. It's right here. Tear it. What you're gonna do is basically wrap the tape around where you're gonna put the hook, like so. All right. Then you're gonna take your hook and you're just gonna stab it through the electrical tape out the other side. What this does is it makes your plastic a lot sturdier, so you're not going to have it pulling through every time you get a strike, or you know, anytime a bluegill can't rip your worm away from you or whatever. So basically you're just fortifying your worm. You're making it a little stronger so that way your hook doesn't pull through. All right, and this small amount of tape is not going to really affect the action on it very much, and you can get electrical tape in any color. So if you want to go out and find some green or whatever, you know, you can do that. That's fine. And you know, you can rig it the traditional way too. You can rig it parallel with the worm. It doesn't matter. And then for the guys who can't find this, you can make one of these super easy. All right. Basically all I did is take a highlighter, took it apart, put a little screw in it. I mean, it's exact same design, you know, so super easy, and it works the exact same way. You put your worm in wherever you need it, and you slide it up. Your O-ring's on there. You can put your hook in. And bam, you're done. That's it. So there's a few different ways to do your wacky rigs. So I mean, you can your double O-ring crossed right there. Your traditional single O-ring, your piece of duct tape. You can even buy the little surgical grade tubing. I think it's 3/4 inch inside diameter. You know what? Just, you know, go to Home Depot, stick one of these in your pockets, and walk around and find the tubing that's going to work, that's going to fit on this. And you can basically just cut that stuff down to size, and you'll have a ton of it. And then that way you can rig it just this exact same way that you did with the duct tape. You'll just have your little piece of tubing that you're going to use, and just stab it through there, and that'll work. So this is basically one of my favorite ways to fish a Senko. I grew up fishing Texas rigged for as long as I can remember. That was basically the only thing that I really knew. That was all I ever fished was Texas rigged. So buddy showed me this, and I just love it. It really works. You know, almost every time every strike you're gonna get on this is gonna be on the fall. So you're basically gonna cast this out and just let it sink. Okay, and while it's sinking, you know, it's gonna be kind of subtly fluttering, and you're gonna get a strike. It's a great way to catch, you know, pressured bass, and you know, a lot of these local ponds around here, everybody fishes them. The bass are used to seeing, you know, people just, you know, burning Senkos and stuff through there. You usually have them Texas rigged, and yeah, this is gonna catch a fish, guys. It's my favorite way to rig a Cinco, and it just flat works. Okay, so another thing you can do, you can even Texas rig these little these smaller finesse worms. So what I did is I went to Home Depot and I bought these number 36 size O-rings. They're just a little smaller. I'll show you. You know, you probably even use them on the Cincos. It really wouldn't matter. I think the ones for these size, I think, are the number 5s. Basically, you'll do the same thing. You put it on your little tool. You'll stretch it out and drop it right on there. I'll rig one up real quick just to show you guys. So this is going to be your one that's going to come with the Wacky Rig tool, or the ones that you can buy, you know, at Academy or whatever, the packages. It's going to be this size. So for your smaller finesse styles worms, you're just going to use this a little bit smaller O-ring. You know, you might have to try some trial and error to figure out exactly what size is going to work best for you, but this should work. You basically do the same thing. You're going to push the O-ring up onto the tool, and it's a little smaller O-ring, so it's going to be a little tighter. It's fine. I'm going to slide it all the way over. Put your little finesse worm in around the middle somewhere. Drop it on, and there you go. You can Wacky rig one of these guys. Same way. Just slide your hook through, and there you go. And this ought to work really well. I haven't fished one of these, but this should work really well. I'll try one out here in a little bit and let you know how it goes. But there you go for those finesse style worms, Wacky rigged. All right, guys, that's it.